I grew up knowing some Yiddish and English, but not Polish and not Russian. But of course, that was very important to us because it was in our minds at all points. I remember when I was growing up, when World War II started, and my mother was in the kitchen, and the announcement was made that the Germans had packed Poland, and I remember her lifting up her hands and saying, "Oh my God, it's already happened." And I think I was about 3 or 4 at the time. But my father and my mother were always interested in the shape and forms of things. And my mother wrote poetry. And she started to go to college here in the States, but that didn't last very long because I gather she was having a family. So she stopped. But she was also very interested in the poetry that she wrote. And in terms of the arts, I had total support, no matter from what, from music, from writers, from composers. I remember drawing pictures from, maybe it was age 2, but I remember drawing these pictures on the bottoms of the tabletops, because that was a place I could get to very simply, and nobody knew what I was doing there. So I'd go under the table with a pencil. I would start drawing on the ceiling, on the underneath of the table. When they discovered that I was an artist, they were always very encouraging to me, no matter what. Everybody thought, well, maybe I should go into medicine, or maybe I should be a lawyer, or maybe an engineer, or anything that was a professionally successful job oriented. But basically, they were really interested in the arts. My father was a projectionist, and that was a great thing because we were always interested in what was happening visually and dramatically on the screen and on the stage. At public school, I was interested in the arts. In junior high school, I was definitely interested in the arts, and I decided to go to a school where I could get more art. And there was a very good school in the neighborhood called Lincoln High, and the chairman of the department was dealing with youngsters who were sort of first immigrants or who were very connected to the art program. So I went to that school. It was called Lincoln High School in Brooklyn. And they had an art department, and aside from the art department, they had a special club where the artists could congregate as a group, and that's where I learned my basic art in high school. The people that I met at my home, and the people that I met at school, and the people all around me were interesting to me. And they were interesting to me politically, they were interesting to me culturally, it was just interesting. And so I looked at people as a great source of wealth. No matter where they were, no matter what they thought about, it was interesting to consider. And along those lines, of course, I had to think about politics too. And I did, from the start. And it never occurred to me that there was another way to be an artist, but you had to think. And that puts you in a different plane from most people. You have to look and see why people think about why they think about anything, what they think about themselves, what they think about other people, and also it occurred to me that many people didn't think at all. They were just reacting. That was another novelty, and I tried to put all these novelties into my painting. When I graduated from college, I knew many people decided to go to Europe because that was the source of our cultural endeavors. But I decided not to go to Europe because I already knew the paintings that I liked. And that dealt with the Renaissance, maybe, and with Impressionism later, of course, and with modern art movements. So I decided not to go to Europe. Instead, I went to India, in the West Indies. And that was interesting because I won a scholarship. It was a very privileged scholarship, which was given especially to the top students in the class, who would then travel to wherever they wanted to. And I decided, okay, I would go to Trinidad, and that was a great effort, but a very, very good one, because I saw the things that were most interesting to me in a different environment, not a European one, but a place, basically a tropical environment, and that's where I began to really make paintings that